Hello, welcome to the Trews. I'm Russell Brand, host of the Trews. Subscribe here to receive more Trews. Constantly you'll be inundated with Trews, you will. A bit like the way you'll be receiving CIA torture reports. A special Senate inquiry will be released today, revealing to us just how much torture goes on in the CIA. Shouldn't we not be torturing people at all? No, we shouldn't be torturing people a bit, but how much? Let's learn more.
Good morning. U.S. positions alert worldwide as Senate Democrats are poised to release a highly controversial report on CIA activity since 9/11.
Why is the Senate turning into some sort of Tetris game? Minecraft, or whatever it's called. It's gone into some weird pixelated graphic land.
One top lawmaker saying the report could lead to, quote, violence and deaths.
This report could lead to violence and deaths. What's it about? Violence and deaths we've been perpetrating in the name of some colours on a flag.
Good morning, Bill. Good morning, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum. So this report is going to outline top secret CIA interrogation techniques that were used in the war on terror.
It's so amazing that even as they introduce the item, the still they show is of 9/11. The question is, is torture wrong? Here's a big report revealing just some of the torture that's taken place. Apparently it's a 6,000-page report. Most of its findings will never see the light of day. They're going to suppress most of it. When Fox News introduce that information to you, they show you an image of smashed up Ground Zero 9/11. They're establishing a correlation between 9/11 and torture in their mind, which is convenient to their narrative.
Critics warn that its release will only put more American lives in danger, they say.
We're fortunate to have men and women.
Well, I think we all agree with that. What kind of planet would it be if it was just cats, dogs, pebbles and plants?
Who work hard at the CIA, serving on our behalf. These are patriots.
Patriots is one of those words, isn't it, that comes up. I think you might not be a patriot. It's like a weird accusation you can throw at someone. Hey, you're coming across like you might not be a patriot. I am. I'd love, well, flags, borders, other imaginary concepts. I'm really into them.
And whatever the report says, if it diminishes their contributions to our country, it is way off base.
I suppose this report is terrifying to a huge and powerful agency like the CIA, because it makes us question, or should make us question, the considerable clandestine power that these organisations hold. Interestingly rendered through Fox News as, look, we don't want to get involved in what the CIA do. They're bloody patriots. Leave them alone.
And here's the former CIA director, Michael Hayden.
This will be used by our enemies to motivate people to attack Americans and American facilities overseas, and I am genuinely concerned by that.
Genuinely concerned. Like, how can someone go on the news as the head of the CIA go, look, I'm genuinely concerned? Like, shouldn't that be implicit? Pseudo-concerned? What other adjective can you put in front of concerned if you're the head of the CIA? Speaking prior to the release of a 6,000-page document that reveals you're using illegal torture methods on detainees, many of whom you had no right to arrest.
In fact, all of our overseas posts received an advisory warning them to, quote, review their security posture.
We will have to review our security posture. What is it at the moment? Yeah, you might want to review that. How about this?
For a, quote, range of reactions that might occur.
The problem is we've created a climate where we think of torture as oddly acceptable. According to a recent Amnesty report, television programmes like the Fox Creation 24, which was a couple of neoconservative guys created apparently, glamorise and justify the idea of torture.
What is your primary objective? What is your primary objective?
Like, it helps us to accept that that's a normal part of international espionage.
By torturing Mr. Haddad. By doing what I deem necessary to protect innocent lives.
36% of Britons believe torture is sometimes necessary. Look at some of the techniques that they're using. Electric shocks, rape, waterboarding and mock executions. The Senate report is likely to attract global attention owing to the CIA's network of unacknowledged prisons in places like Poland, Thailand and Afghanistan. I didn't know that, did you? The CIA have got unacknowledged prisons. Sir, what's that building over there with a barbed wire fence around it? I do not acknowledge that.
Katie McFarland, Fox News national security analyst. Katie, good morning to you.
Good morning.
What do you believe will be in this?
It'll have two blockbusters. One, that the United States intelligence community committed torture on terrorist suspects. And number two, that the information gleaned from that torture was not effective.
No big deal. It's just, we've been torturing people. Oh, that's terrible. But I suppose, you know, you did what you had to do. That's right. So what was the results of all your torture? Doesn't work. Sorry, what was it?
All right,
Both are wrong.
So why is it being released?
That's his question. So why, oh why, would you want to tell us that the CIA, a powerful international agency funded by the American taxpayer, is torturing people for no reason? Why would anyone want to know that?
I think part of it is, let's just blame Bush. Part of it is the Democrats are leaving the Senate.
The reason is because we're meant to have some semblance of transparency and democracy. Wouldn't you like to know what people are doing? They're in charge of us at this time as they continue to increase their powers, their abilities to snoop on us, their abilities to detain us, their abilities to have trade agreements around the world that prevent us from having any control over our own lives. The problem isn't that the report's being released. The problem is there's not more reports like it, and the problem is that people are being pointlessly tortured around the globe.
You know, let's kick in the doors and smash the windows on our way out the door. If they can air America's dirty laundry.
She uses some extraordinary metaphors, this lady. We're smashing up the house. I'm washing my pants in the sink. Sorry, can we talk about the torture of innocent people by the CIA? No! Not when my pants are smashing the windows!
If they can show the world how terrible we were and that they're different, somehow we're going to be forgiven of that great sin. It's like expiating for your guilt.
It's not just America, this problem either. Several foreign governments, including the UK and Poland, are fearful, UK where we live, or I live at least, identification by the Senate and have added to the pressure on the committee. Would you mind awfully not revealing any of this information?
Well, we've seen in history that this is exactly what has happened. We did this in the late 1970s. Foreign intelligence agencies say, we're not going to cooperate with you. We can't trust you to keep the secrets.
Do you want us to not be trusted by the Belgian CIA, or the Luxembourg CIA, or the Sri Lankan CIA? Right. Well then let us get on with raping and mock executing people who may have done nothing wrong.
Do you support the release of this information?
No, I don't see that it does any good at all.
K.T. McFarland, thank you, leading our analysis there.
Fox News are amazing in that they will brazenly go on the television and defend the oppression of the people of America. This is one of the main things that we're interested in on the Trews, is the way that media supports existing structures, even when those structures are oppressing, attacking or undermining the people that the media is supposed to serve. Look at that word, media. It's meant to be the institution that's between the powerful and the governed, us. And if that filter is not trustworthy, if it lies to us, if it has the same agenda as governments, how can we trust it? This CIA report is important because around the world now, there are all sorts of measures that give governments more rights to spy on their own people. There are measures that give big companies more rights, like the TTIP will give international corporations the right to trade unimpeded and sue nation states that try and get in the way of them making a profit. If there are unaccountable government agencies that can torture without having to ever justify it or explain what they're doing, even when it doesn't work, we're living in a terrifying time. Isn't it obvious that if rape is a technique that is used to get information out of a person, that we're already in hell? There's no further to go. There's no further that we can decline. What this story shows is that, of course, the CIA are acting in an unaccountable, clandestine and terrifying way, and that the media are supporting them in that. And we've got no access, no purchase to power. When you hear a story like this, which exposes that massive media organisations like Fox News, owned by News International, that own The Sun, are untrustworthy, the CIA are terrifying, you think, what can we do? Well, what we can do are small things that symbolically represent that us, the people, can come together and oppose power. For example, Sheikh Amar is a UK resident, except he's been held in Guantanamo Bay. He was arrested in Afghanistan on the 24th of November 2001. He's been there since February the 14th, 2002. Happy Valentine's Day! Surprise! You're in Guantanamo Bay. Amar's mental and physical health has been declining over the years. He's participated in hunger strikes to protest against these illegal things that we now know are going on as a result of this report. There are some campaigns that we can support. For example, Save Sheikh Amar, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, savesheikh.org. Or learn more about the London Guantanamo Campaign blogspot. Learn more about that as well. And also support Reprieve. What can we do in all of the cases where we have to confront mighty institutions, whether they're private or state? What we can do is come together and support localised campaigns. Although they may seem small, what it does is it represents that when we come together, we can change the world, because they're not going to do it for us. We've just seen how the media collaborates with the government in order to suppress the truth about the CIA. If you want true news, you have to get it for yourselves. True News, subscribe here, subscribe here, subscribe here.
Is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Trews is like the nose. If the nose was true, I want some trews. Let's have some trews.